I was back home, Charlotte, North Carolina. I was fortunate enough to have some weight room equipment in my garage to continue my workouts and stay in shape physically. And then baseball-wise, there's a small baseball facility pretty close indoor that has some mounds and everything. And that's where we were for the most part early on. And then as things started to kind of open up, there was a high school close that we were able to go and throw some live ABs and, see some hitters in the box and stuff. So it was a pretty good setup, more than I probably could have asked for, and it was nice to be home with my family. Biggest thing that I could take from last year, and even in 2018 when I was with Oakland, we started doing the opener there at the end of the year. I think the biggest thing is just understanding that, you can literally be used at any point in the game. And you kind of got to take your routine that you've done to get you ready for a certain inning throughout the years or your career or whatever, and kind of, form it into something completely new altogether, and just understand that, whenever, my spot in the lineup or who I match up best with is probably going to be coming up, I got to be ready for that, particular inning. And most of that, is communicated really well from pitching coach and bullpen coach and just the club as a whole. So, I don't see much different here. I mean, our communication here is really, really well. And I think we'll be up to the task. Even the bullpens that people don't talk about, there's a lot of really good stuff in those bullpens. So, obviously a lot has been said about our bullpen, about how deep we can be. But nothing's guaranteed in the game of baseball. You could go out there and pitch great and give up 2 or 3 runs. That's just part of the game. So, I do think we have guys that match up in multiple different scenarios throughout a game against any lineup, which sets us up to be successful. But we also, once the ball leaves your hand, it's out of your control. So I think the biggest thing for us this year is not focusing too much on the result. We can go out there as a bullpen and throw really, really well one night and blow a game. And we can go out there the very next night and not execute any pitches and get the job done. So I think if we, just kind of build off of, keep doing what we're supposed to be doing in the weight room and catch program and everything like that, I think that sets us up for the most success moving forward. Honestly, it's kind of helped me. I got traded there probably the last possible minute before spring training. So to have the shutdown and then come back, it's kind of like I'm coming back to the same team for a new season. So it's nice to have a little bit of relationships there that I've already built in the first spring training, and a little bit of familiarity with people's family lives and stuff away from the game of baseball. That stuff goes a long way in a locker room, to be able to have conversations that aren't about the game, to kind of decompress and stuff like that. So it's been nice for me. Obviously I didn't want that layoff, and I wanted to be playing games, but to your question, that's been huge to come back and see some faces that I already have a relationship with. So that part's been nice. Velocity is a big thing now in the game of baseball these days. So stuff is pretty much everywhere you look. I mean, even the team, like I said it earlier, the teams that nobody's talking about, they have guys that are 95 to 100 with wipeout sliders. That's just kind of the way it is now. And so the stuff obviously is there. It no doubt compares to any bullpen in the game of baseball. But I think more than anything, there's guys that have been battle tested in this bullpen, and they can help, the younger guys like myself, or, like a Pierce Johnson who just came back over from Japan, guys that haven't been in the game as long. So having guys like Kirby, like Craig, like Drew, it's nice to have those guys that you can lean on, down the stretch and pick their brains at what helps them go when they're not feeling great physically, and what helps them stay in line when they do feel great physically. So I think we've got a good blend, but as far as comparing to other teams, it's hard to say. I mean, from my understanding, we're all going to have on masks during the game if we're not warming up or pitching. I think that's kind of the protocols. That's what I'm planning to do. I'm not sure if that's like set in stone. You have to wear a mask if you're not playing, to be honest, but that's what I'm planning on doing. I just think if we just follow protocols as closely as we can, those protocols are there for a reason. The people who are really smart made those protocols. So they're trying to keep us safe, and I think if that's what we focus on, then we'll be in a good spot.